That's the thing about being alone. It's not that you feel like you don't have anybody. It's like you feel like nobody has you.
Loneliness is something that's going to be afflicting a lot of people in 2024.
You feel like nobody's there. Yeah.
Hey guys, it's JK, and we're going to be talking about loneliness. Loneliness affects everybody. I can be in a room of 1,000 people and still feel like I'm alone. But what do the stats say? Well, in 2022, 49.63% of adults in the UK reported feeling lonely sometimes. Perfectly understandable. 7.1% of adults in Great Britain report feeling lonely chronically, which means all the time or often. And this is actually an increase of 6% from before the pandemic. And trust me, things are not going down since, especially like if you know anything about the pandemic, prices have gone up, everything has gone up, including loneliness. This is something serious. It's an epidemic. It's something that is really grabbing a hold of people and we're not noticing. I think that's the scary part, that we're not noticing. Before going into this topic, I want to do something where I do a poetic line or I write a poem about the topic we're going to discuss in these videos. My reflection told me, your posts can have 1,000 views, but no one will really see you. In this video, we're going to look at a couple of reasons why I personally think loneliness has become such an epidemic in the UK. Yes, I know I sound like I'm 50 complaining, oh, the kids of today, but we are addicted to social media. All of us, myself included, like I'm on here doing this, trying. It says it all. But social media cannot actually replace that desire for connection, for interpersonal face-to-face connection we all have as people. We all want someone we can talk to, we can catch a vibe with, we can enjoy, we can laugh, we can communicate with. It's what is in all of us. We yearn for it. Social media plays a part in that, but it cannot replace that genuine connection, that human connection we need. Let me ask you a question. Is liking a post or liking someone's story the same as actually engaging with them? Leaving a comment, is that the same as actually speaking to them? It doesn't give you that same dopamine hit, especially if there's someone you actually enjoy their company. It doesn't make you laugh like as if they were there with you. It just doesn't. It can't replace it, yet we seem to act like it can. It's like, have you ever had a situation where your parents or your mom or someone has asked you, oh, when was the last time you spoke to so-and-so? And you probably say, oh yeah, I saw them post on Insta, I saw them do this, I saw them do that. But when was the last time you spoke to so-and-so? When was the last time you had a conversation, you engaged with them, you looked them in the eye, you laughed, you enjoyed their company, enjoyed their presence? And I understand we're all very, very busy people. But the idea of social media is meant to help improve our connections, not replace it. And then that idea of replacing your connections is what makes you realize that you're not getting those same interactions, even though you feel like you are. You feel like, I keep in touch with all my friends, I like all their posts, I like all their stories, we send each other memes, but you're not getting that face-to-face personal interaction, and it's showing because now you're starting to feel like, I have all these friends, but they don't know anything about me. Someone once told me that social media is a highlight reel. It is a snapshot of a moment It's a snapshot of a moment within a moment. It's not real. And because of that, because you're only seeing those snapshots of a moment, you don't really know what's going on. I'll give an example. One of my friends, I remember we were talking on socials, sending each other memes, laughing, kiki and ha-ha. And it wasn't until we actually had a proper conversation I realized, oh wow, you're going through things. Wow, like you're not really kikiing and laughing like that because you're going through things, you're going through struggles. And I wouldn't have known that if all we were doing was just sending memes, liking and commenting. You need to have these conversations with people. And these conversations with people, it's better when they're face to face. I'll give another scenario. Story time. Yeah, this is a story time. I was on placement. I had a placement year in Birmingham, a city called Birmingham in the UK, which basically means for that year you work and you are hopefully paid for the work you do in that year. However, it usually tends to be away from your university or from where you went. Usually cool. So when I was there in Birmingham, I used to have to travel on this train deep into the Midlands to where my placement was. And I used to have to be there almost every single morning for 8 a.m. sharp at that station. So I was there at that station day in, day out, and then I noticed something. I started seeing the same people, the same faces, over and over and over again. And I noticed a young lady, and I would see her, would literally wait at the same spot almost every single day for this damn train, over and over and over and over again. And it wasn't until one day I finally decided, you know what, we've been seeing each other for the last few months. Just say hi, have a conversation, have a face-to-face interaction. And I said hi. She said hi back. We had a conversation. Turns out she was a German exchange student who was here in Birmingham on her own placement year to work. And we just thought, wow, well, look at that, two strangers. And we're both taking the same route to work. We had a conversation. And that conversation led on to actually at least the beginning of a friendship. And yes, it wasn't anything romantic. It was just a platonic friendship where it is, I'm new to this place. I'm new to this place as well. Let's explore it together. Or let's find things to do together. She started inviting me saying, oh, I want to go to this city. Do you want to come with me? And I said, well, I've never been to that city before. So yes, I'm down. I'm sure I'm down to come. That's how you make friendships. But we've lost these these face-to-face in-person connections has been lost because a lot of us, we've kind of replaced it with social media. There's no interpersonal connections happening anymore. People don't make new friends by just starting conversations anymore. It doesn't happen. On the way to work, or you are on a train with or in a carriage 30 people, and there's no conversations. No one's talking to anybody. We have our headphones on, looking down, scrolling through our phones. I do the same thing too, but sometimes I look up and I actually see that there's no conversation. There are 30 individuals here with their own stories, their own lives, yet no one's talking. And it's kind of crazy because when social media replaces this face-to-face connection, we lose those interpersonal skills. The skills to be able to have a conversation, to carry a conversation, to engage in a conversation, a platonic conversation. It's not, you don't have to try to get someone's number, just talk. Just talk. But we don't do that anymore. We're also quiet in our own little worlds that we actually forget there's a bigger world out there that we all live and share in. And we need to come out of that a bit more. Dating and relationships. See, when social media replaces those face-to-face interactions, what we actually lose is our ability to socially interact with other people. We lose our ability to make small talk, to engage in conversations, and that can affect dating and relationships. You ask people nowadays, where did you meet your partner? Or where did you meet your boyfriend, your wife, your girlfriend? It's, oh, I met them online, or a dating app, Hinge, Tinder, Bumble. I rarely ever hear, oh, I was outside doing this and we had a conversation and we kind of sparked off. Or I met them through a friend and, we met at this thing, a gathering. And it was that's so rare nowadays. The organic way of meeting people is so rare nowadays. And it really goes in to show how people don't know how to talk to each other anymore. People don't know how to engage in conversations anymore. I remember I was out with a big group of friends. Not everyone here was friends, but we had all brought different friends from different people. And one of my guys was there and he saw this girl, a beautiful, sensational black woman. He was smitten. That's the word. He was smitten. He adored her. He was just looking at her. And I said, wow, yeah, she's gorgeous. And he's like, yeah, man, I follow her on Insta. And I was like, oh, you follow her on Insta? You ever spoken? He's like, oh, no, I've never spoken to her. And I was like, bro, she's right there. Go speak to her. She's by herself. If she has a friend, let me know. I'll wingman you. I'll get the friend away so you can speak to her. Speak to her. And he was just like, nah, bro, I can't do it, I can't do it. yeah, nah. You know what I'm gonna do? Yeah, after we leave this venue, I'm gonna send her a DM and tell her that, oh yeah, I saw you still. And I was just looking at him like, what do you mean you're gonna wait till later? She's right here in front of your very face. Talk to her. See if you would actually enjoy the conversation, catch a vibe. Why wouldn't you do that? Why would you rather go back, wait till the moment is gone, send a DM to tell her, oh, I saw you, when you can speak to her now? What's the point of all that? And the point of all that is fear. Because when you have lost that ability to interact, to engage in conversation face to face, that's why people say you got Twitter fingers. When you've lost the ability to actually say things to people face to face, you're too scared. Maybe it's a fear of rejection. Maybe it's a fear of not knowing how to actually go about it. But that fear affects people with dating and relationships. It makes it harder for us to actually find genuine connections. People are all about sliding into DMs. That's fine. Hey, listen, a good slide is effective. There's no denying that. But there's something about speaking to someone face to face and actually seeing, do we have a connection? Is this someone I can catch a vibe with? Is it someone I can relax with? Someone I can enjoy myself with? Just from that first conversation. I personally would rather that. I'd rather I speak to you and you reject me, or you tell me, oh, I have a boyfriend, so I'm not interested. Please tell me that, rather than I message you, I DM you, and you air it. I'm just not a fan of DMs. I'd rather speak to you in person and hear what you're saying. And that's just kind of how I prefer to roll, but we've gone off track for a little bit. Let's get back. Because of our use of social media to replace face-to-face interactions, it reaches a point where we have lost simple communication etiquette. A great example, ghosting. Ghosting people is literally one of the worst things you can do. And I am guilty of it. I'm going to put my hands up here. I am guilty of it. You are too. Don't even look at me like I'm the bad guy. You are too. You've probably ghosted someone. You probably are ghosting someone currently. Let's be real about it. But ghosting is not good. It shows a lack of communication, because we've lost those, as I keep saying, face-to-face interactions. We've lost it. Because when you're just texting someone, you don't really see a face. You don't see a person. You just see a profile. You don't see who you're talking to. You don't see how your texts affect them, how your lack of texts affect them. So you don't care. It's easy to just forget about somebody. I'll give a situation. I'm going to be raw here. This is a personal story time of mine. So, if whoever you are, if you hear it, yeah, it is what it is. I was talking to this girl one time. I think I met her on Hinge. They're not paying me to advertise. I just used it before, you know what I mean? So I met her on Hinge. We hit it off text-wise. We exchanged numbers. It was good. I said, you know what? Let's meet up. She said, yeah, let's do it. I book a date. Mini golf. Yeah, I like my mini golf. A little mini golf. We get some food after. I told her about it. This is the time, it's the location, it's the date. It's paid for. Just show up. Let's have a great time. She said, yeah, I'm excited. Let's go. As time is coming to the date, on the day, as in this is the day of the date, I'm working from home. And on my lunch break, I decided, let me go get a trim, because my barber shop wasn't too far from my house. I said, you know what, it's a nice sunny day, let me walk. I walk to the barber shop, get my hair cut. And on the walk back, I'm messaging her like, oh yeah, see you later. Just here's the location, here's the time, just so in case you've forgotten. And I get a response. I open the message. The response says, yeah, hey, sorry, I can't make it today. And my thing is, I don't really mind if you can't make it. Let me know. That's kind of what she's done. That's perfectly fine. I said, okay, that's cool. Do you want to reschedule? And she hits me with, I'm going to be real. I'm talking to somebody else and I'm feeling them more. And I felt the pain in my chest. Oh, I felt that pain. But the pain is natural. It's just how it is. It's what you have to learn to accept and get over it. And I said, okay, that's fine. Perfect. That's cool. Have a good time. Take care. We didn't need to speak again. It's cool. That's fine. I honestly appreciated that she communicated with me rather than just ghosting me and leaving me to show up to a date and not show up and her not show up at all. I prefer that. Because ghosting people leads to so many things. It leads to, it's not just you vanishing from their lives, it leads to them they start to question themselves. They start to think, I was enjoying our interactions, I thought you were too. They start to think, did I misread that situation? They start to doubt themselves. They start to feel like maybe I'm the problem, especially if it happens to them constantly, or especially if their confidence maybe is not as much as yours. They start to think maybe I'm the problem. They develop things from that, ideologies from that, which is not accurate, which is probably not true, but they believe it because that's the evidence of what your absence has shown. And it's not fair. It really isn't. If you're not feeling someone, you don't like someone anymore, you're talking to somebody else, you don't need to tell them, it's up to you how you want to break it to them, but let them know that, don't let them know. Don't just vanish from their lives, especially if they've become used to speaking to you. Don't just vanish from that. It's not nice. It's like you'd hate it if it happens to you. And yeah, we can say it's the game, but the game is what we make it, so we have to play it the way we would want to be played. Does that make sense? Was I onto something that I don't know? Maybe I am. Anyways, you play the game how you want to be played. And I think that's the only fair way about it. Like, have you ever watched these American sitcoms or these old TV shows where the characters all have a place they gather? Whether it's a library, a cafe, a center, they all have somewhere where they can all come together and actually interact with each other. Yes, it's one major friendship group, but that's where they meet other people, and that's how they have their different story arcs, all of this and all of that. We don't have that anymore. We really, really don't. We've lost that space that actually facilitates interaction, facilitates face-to-face interaction with different people. We've lost that space. And some people will say, well, in the UK scene over here, we've got DLT, we have day parties. Yeah, they're parties. They're not really like, you go to a party, yeah, you meet new people, but you go with your friends. You kind of go to enjoy it with your friends. There's not really a space where you can just meet new people. In fact, most people only really have two places they go to. A lot of people, it's you're either at home or you're at work. And if you're really religious like that, then you're at church. Those are the main three: home, work, and church. There's not really any other spaces out there. When we were younger, I had the library. I used to go to the library with my friends from college in sixth form. And there you'd have the people you came with, but different groups of people also there. That's how you met people. Even when I was in university, the library was the spot. People would come to study, people would come to sleep, people would come to revise, people would come to just see people. It was like a little party in the library. It was so crazy. Like, very, very little studying was actually done in that building, if I'm going to be so honest with you. But that's what it was there for. It was a place for people to interact. You'd see people from the opposite side of the campus that you rarely ever go to. Like, oh, I didn't even know you live in that area. You'd see people from, maybe you've gone to a party, a house party, you've seen somewhere that you see them in the library. Like, oh, I remember you. You have conversations. You meet people, you interact. That's how sometimes in university, places like university, where you have such a tight-knit community, it's still possible to feel lonely. It's a little bit less. It's just a little bit less because you have people constantly around you. You have that interaction face to face, especially if you are good in those situations. You can still feel lonely in those situations. Yes, you can, definitely. But it's a little bit easier to have people to interact with because you're so close to each other. We as a generation need a bit more of these spaces. I remember I was at an event, a networking event. It was a networking games night event. Very strange name and title, but hey, I enjoyed it. It was good. So at this event, people from different backgrounds are just networking, getting to know each other, playing some games around some board games. And I am a Monopoly fan. I love Monopoly. Like, I would play Monopoly anytime. You could call back in university, you could call me at 2 a.m. I'm showing up. Let's play. Let's go. I was an addict. So I saw Monopoly. I said, I want to play Monopoly. Everybody else was just literally saying, oh, it's too long. I don't want to play. I would rather go do something else. That's fine. But I want to play Monopoly. It was 3 other people pulled up and they said, you want to play Monopoly? I said, let's go. They said, yeah, let's go. We played Monopoly. Everyone else was networking. I never knew these people from nowhere. We've all met at exactly the same place. We all kind of came by ourselves. We caught a vibe playing Monopoly. We decided, yo, let's go get some food. And we left the event. We went to a cafe down the road. We left the event. We ended up just getting a bite to eat, all speaking, knowing a bit more about each other. it's these little spaces that facilitate things. We actually end up making a group chat and made plans to meet later on again. But these spaces that allow people from different different backgrounds to meet and interact, they facilitate spaces. I think they're called, the term for it is third spaces, but I don't really think, let's call it communal areas. They facilitate interpersonal reactions. They make it easier for you to make new friends, to meet new people, to feel less like you're all by yourself, because now you see other people see you. Other people want to spend time with you, they want to interact with you beyond just your immediate friends, beyond your family. It helps you feel more connected with your community. So how can we actually deal with this loneliness? And here's a few steps that I personally would recommend. It might work for you, it might not, but it kind of is what has worked for me. Number one, get a hobby that takes you out of your house. Yeah, that's one of the major things. Get a hobby that takes you out of your house and brings you into a new space where you can experience new people. For me, it was badminton. I got into playing badminton. I know, it's like, oh, it's a very, listen, don't come for badminton, that's a great sport. But I got into playing that. I found a club locally. Actually, I started playing with my friends. We used to go out to play at this leisure center. Good time. We met a guy at leisure center who was watching us play. He told us he runs a club for people of different levels. We went to his club. I still go to this day. Some of my friends don't go because sometimes it's a bit too much. But I loved it. I go to the club. I go to the badminton club. I know I play badminton with total strangers. We have mixed matches. I go by myself, and there's a guy there who organizes who plays with who, just mixes the matches. You meet new people. You play with different people, different play styles. You start to understand that there's a bigger world out there. And you start to learn those skills again. When I'm at badminton, I am not even on my phone. My phone is off. Everyone knows. At this date, on this day, at these times, you're not going to get a response from JK. You're just not. He's at badminton. And for those of us who are religious, who go to church, yes, church is a great place to meet new people. It really, really is. But find a hobby that takes you out of there. I know people are going to say, oh, God forbid. No, find a hobby that takes you into a new space so you can experience new things, so you can interact with new people, so you can develop those face-to-face interaction skills and get them back up, so this way you don't feel as lonely. Because sometimes church can just feel like that. It feels like you see the same people, but let's learn to experience new people and new things. That is one great way. And yes, money can be tight. We are in a crisis of living. A crisis of living and a crisis of loving. Money can be tight. Money is tight. So it might not be for you to go every single week, but budget in there to at least go once every few months, see new people see a new experience once every few months. Like, take a friend with you. Like, if you have a friend who's also interested in trying new things, reach out to them, find something new you both want to try, and go and do it. Go and meet new people, go and experience new things. It's a great way to combat loneliness. Another way, have more face-to-face interactions, whether with your friends, or it's going to sound really strange, with strangers. Yes, I know you're going to say, it's this guy telling us to talk to strangers. This is not what our parents told us. Don't talk to strangers. I get it. Be safe when you do this, but talk to strangers. I do it sometimes. I will see a guy wearing a great fit and I'll say, yo, my guy, I love your fit. I'll be like, yo, like, that's a cold jacket. I love that jacket. Learn to talk to people. And they'll probably stop and say, oh, right, thank you. Like, you know what? I got this from here. Like, you know what? I know about that side. They do this, they do that. You get conversations. Like, what's your name, man? Nice to meet you. That's a name. That's a new connection. That's a connection. That's how it works. You've practiced now these skills. You've learned to speak to someone face to face. You've got a new name. Someone else who has your name as well. That's how you do. That's how you connect. You never know. You might see each other again. Like, oh, you're the guy who said this. That could be, you build reports. That could be a friendship brewing. You never know. That's how you build a community. And this is something we have to learn to do more and more, because we're in a generation where loneliness is literally creeping in on us and we're not noticing it because we think we're not lonely, or we're not willing to admit that we are lonely. Every man is, every person is on their own journey, but no person, no human, no one man is an island. We need connections. So that's it for now, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments about how social media has affected the loneliness in our generation, how our lack of communication has affected the loneliness, how our ghosting has affected the loneliness, how the lack of communal spaces has affected our loneliness for this generation. If there's any I have missed, or any more ideas you might have on how to actually help people who are feeling lonely, please comment them and put them in the comments. I want to read them. I love to hear and read the comments to see, hey, it might be an idea for a new video. So until next time, it's been JK. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, share the video if you enjoyed it. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Well, JK speaks out.